Well, g'day and welcome back and welcome to Tassie. It's been a long time coming, but we finally made it. We're finally here. So we're going to start our tour in the northwest corner. It's not normally where most people start, but we've got some really nice weather coming, about a week or so. So we thought, let's get to the west coast while we can, while the weather's holding out. So I hope you enjoy our little tour of the northwest corner of Tasmania. So we're in the queue for the ferry. We've passed through the ticketing stage, which was quite seamless, and the quarantine stage. They stole our honey, but we knew that was going to go.
It was only a little bit left.
Only a little bit left. Didn't quite get through it all, unfortunately. And that's it. Now we're in the queue waiting to start boarding, which is meant to start around 7 o'clock. So it's just gone 7 o'clock now, just after 7. Our trip out from the campsite last night was great. Still took us exactly 30 minutes to get from the campsite to the start of the boarding process for the ferry. So that was great.
Easy road?
Yeah, the road was easy. There was no major traffic problems to worry about. It was terrific. So we can recommend that one out at, what's it called?
B-U-N-J-L.
Bunjil Lookout. It was a great little stop. But boy, oh boy, did it rain and blow last night. Oh. Far out.
I'm glad we got to a cabin today.
It was ferocious. We didn't get a lot of sleep last night. The old van was shaking and rocking and the rain was pouring. So it was a fairly tempestuous night last night. Anyway, so we're in the queue waiting to start boarding, and hopefully we'll be on board very shortly. We're going on. It's 4 minutes before 8 o'clock, so it's taken a while to get this far. We're in the last lane of traffic going on. Don't know whether
behind
that
the
means,
horses.
Don't know whether that means we're going to be the first coming off or not, but something I doubt. It is 6:15. They say we're going to start loading or unloading at 6:45. So we're on deck 3, one of the first ones to go. So this is our little cabin. It's pretty cool. It's been great. We got a cabin for 4. I'm not sure why. Maybe all the 2 cabin berths were taken. Anyway, cabin for 4. It's got a shower and a toilet. Pretty good shower. Didn't have a shower because it's been travelling all day. Let me show you something that's really important. When you leave the car deck and you're coming up the lift or the stairs, grab one of these things. You'll see them in a pocket just beside the stairs and the lifts and things, and it tells you where your car's parked. So obviously they've got different ones for every section. So if you can't remember exactly where your car's parked, which I would say happens an awful lot, then this will come in very handy, and you'll be able to get your way back to your car with a bit of luck. Anyway, we've got about 15 minutes. No need to rush. The trip has been pretty good, even though it's been very windy and there was quite a swell out there. It was really quite pleasant.
Having the cabin made a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really good. Do you remember how much we paid for the cabin?
It's
$200 on top of the car fees. It's not a cheap way to get to this place over here in Tassie.
So much more comfortable.
And it's a long swim as well. So that's it. So we'll be up very shortly. They'll make an announcement, call us down to the car, and we'll be out of here just before 7 o'clock, I imagine. We are bunkered down in Devonport. The weather is atrocious. It's blowing a gale, 40 odd knots, and raining and everything. So we do what normal people do when they're bunkered down. Lisa's detoxing her feet.
We went to this reject shop and they had so many things. They had these tracksuit pants for $8.
Really good tracksuit pants, but we didn't realise they came in a 2-piece kit. So you buy most of it and then you get the last 6 inches. Must be a second purchase.
Very much for short people, tracking pants. And some detox foot pad things for $2.
Scientifically proven.
I've seen them on the internet.
It's on the internet, it must be true. Oh, kettle's boiled. Rightio, time for a cuppa. So we're still here in Devonport. I'm just down in the camp kitchen, which is pretty good. Just doing a little bit of work on the video because the caravan is just rocking too much. It's rougher in the caravan today than it was on the ferry yesterday. But we are thanking our lucky stars we got over yesterday, because today is an absolute shocker. Let me show you outside. It is blowing a gale. It would be 35 to 45 knots. It is teeming with rain. And I don't know if you can just see it, the rain is just coming in almost horizontal at the moment. There's branches off trees and it's chaos. I feel very sorry for the poor folk that were heading from Tassie back to Geelong this morning, because it would be a shocker. So anyway, I'm bunkered down here in the camp kitchen, just doing a bit of work, putting the next vid together. Far out, it is howling. Oh, look at this. Anyway, the wind is meant to drop off tomorrow and the rain's meant to ease. Far out. And the rest of the week is meant to be beautiful, which we can't wait for. But at the moment, beautiful is definitely not the way you describe this weather, because it is just shit. Welcome to Tassie. Okay, we're all hooked up, leaving Devonport this morning. It's a lovely day, not a cloud in the sky. Still a little bit breezy and very chilly. Probably be only 14 degrees or something like that, but it is beautiful. It's so nice to see the sun out. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. We'll just check the lights, make sure they all work. Okay, just do our final checks and we'll be on our way. Not quite on our way. One more job to do. So our first campsite, this is a little town called Riana, and we're staying in what they call the Pioneer Park, which is a $15 a night lease.
Yeah, or singles 10.
$10 for a single or $15 for a double. Really nice little spot. They've got fire pits here, as you can see, and there's a big pile of firewood up the top there, but it's very damp. We don't know how that's going to go. But we're just camped in underneath the trees, as you can see. But right at the back of the camp, it's very open up there, and most people are up there, don't know why, but then now we realise they're up there because the sun shines up there. Whereas down here, it's a bit chilly in the shade of the trees. We might have made a mistake there. Lesson learnt, lesson number 1 here in Tasmania. But this is it, Pioneer Park in the little town of Riana, which is just near Penguin, which is just near Burnie. So we've travelled a massive 34 kilometres today to get here. But there's showers and toilets. The showers are $1 for 5 minutes. Hopefully the hot water comes through within that 5 minutes. And there's flushing toilets and things like that. It's a really nice little spot. Really nice little spot. And there's plenty of hikes just in the hills up behind us. So we'll just have a cup of tea and then we're going to head up and do a hike up in the hills. So we're going to have a go at the Mount, we think it's Nomen lookout, 1 hour return. Don't know exactly what distance that is, but that'd come in handy as well. But anyway, it's a fairly steep climb up the top, and they reckon it's a pretty specky view once you get up there. So we'll see how we go. It's actually not a bad trail. It's relatively steep, but it's not disastrously steep. It's quite good actually. I think we might be about halfway there. Let's see how we go. Okay, I retract my previous statement. We're just over half a K up the hill and it's getting pretty steep now. But as you look up to the top of the trees, can't be far from the top. They, when they label these trails here, they put a time in there and not a distance, which is a bit funny because timing is very dependent on people's ability and fitness level, whereas distance doesn't vary. So not sure why they do that. Anyway, I'll keep pushing up.
0.9, so 10
0.9.
metres. 100 metres? 10 metres.
100 metres to the top. So the track splits here. You can go along this way to Mount Dial, and apparently that's quite a nice walk. It just runs along the top of the ridge to Mount Dial, or we can go this way to the top of Mount Nomen. And I'll say it again because I was probably wrong the last 3 times I've said it. We must be getting close. This looks like a nice little steep push to the top. It's going to be windy up there. little bit just here. In Wiki, they did say push on past the rocks and you get to the edge of the cliff and you get a grand vista out towards the north, I'm guessing. But yeah, this is a little bit tricky. It's not too bad. Just got to be careful and not film and walk at the same time, because we all know what happens when you do that. End of the trail. We can keep going if you want to, but you need a parachute for the next bit. Oh wow, how far out, how high are we? Wow. And that's looking back towards Penguin.
Wow.
That's pretty. Do you want to stand out there and I'll get a picture of you? No.
No.
No, I'll stand back here. Here we go. It is quite spectacular. Worth that little scramble over the rocks, that's for sure. That's just beautiful. We've been hanging out for a fire since we left Western Australia, and we have finally managed to get one going. So we are sitting out here enjoying a glass of wine by our magnificent little fire. It would be all of about 7 degrees, I reckon.
If we're lucky.
And the wind is still howling and there's showers are still coming, but how nice is it?
We will have a fire.
We're determined to have a fire because we've got some pork chops that we want to cook on the fire or on the coals. So it's looking good at the moment.
Might have to sit in it to get
It is bloody freezing. But it's all meant to change tomorrow. How good's that? Our first fire pit since we left WA, because it's been fire ban season all the way across, all through South Australia, Victoria. But here in Tassie, it's nice and lush and green. I don't think they worry too much about fire bans here at the moment.
And great fire pits at this camp.
Yeah, how good is that? Excellent. And they got all the firewood. It's all a bit damp. It took a bit to get this going. Firelighters, you've got to love firelighters. But yeah, it took a little bit to get it going, but the bark from these gum trees certainly ignites it without any problems at all.
Okay, so we're in Riana in Tasmania and it's freaking cold. It is the 7th of March? No, 8th of March?
8th of March, yep.
8th of March. And oh my God, do we love the diesel heater.
I was a little bit anti the diesel heater, thinking, no, we don't need it, we'll be fine. But I tell you what, we are so glad that we've got the diesel heater now. It is freezing out there.
We had a fire out there this afternoon to cook our dinner on, and you had to actually sit on the fire to get a bit of warmth, but that's all good because we've got a diesel heater.
And she's cranking now. It's beautiful. We've just turned it on and it's just starting to warm up and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about the elephant under the hat. You may notice in some of the upcoming videos that I have a slightly different hairstyle. And for those people that have been watching before, you might have seen in the Fitzgerald River National Park video that I had just undergone some treatment using Effidex, and for the basal cell carcinomas, which are like precancerous cell growths that you get when you spend too much time in the sun. And part 2 of that treatment was to do my head, and to do that meant that I had to shave it. This is the result. So there's about a month of regrowth here. So yeah, had to shave my head and then undergo, it's about 21 days worth of treatment to try and get rid of those precancerous cells. So lesson learnt, people. First thing, get your skin checked. Especially for us older people, we're at that age now where these things start to manifest themselves. So make sure you go and get your skin checked every 12 months minimum, 6 months even preferable. And the other thing is, wear sunscreen. I wish I had many years ago, but it's never too late to start. So make sure you wear sunscreen and get your skin checked. But here we go. This is how I lost my hair. We're in Stanley today, and we're just at the Nut, which is this thing behind us. Not the best view of it, we'll try and get a better shot of that. But it's a 430 metre hike to the top, very steep apparently. So, but they say it's only 15 minutes to get up there, so we'll do that. And then I'll walk around the top. Joking when they say it's a steep climb. It's a very steep climb. Certainly won't be running up this one, that's for sure.
You have to do it on your tippy toes.
Yeah. Can't work out for your calf muscles, that's for sure. This is stage 2, it's even steeper than stage 1. Of course, the easy way is the chairlift. There's a real leg burner, this. Far out. That was a steep climb. It's only short, 450 metres, but boy oh boy. Okay, so now there's a 2 kilometre trek around the top, which is nice and level, apparently.
Go anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. That's the cop-out way.
We can do that on the way back.
I think you still got to pay. Yeah. So you can buy a one-way ticket back down, 12 bucks. You've done all the hard work to get up here, might as well walk down. Okay, let's do the walk. There's a couple of beautiful beaches either side of the Nut on the east and western sides, and we'll get some photos of those and show them to you, but they're really nice. In nice sunny weather, you'd almost be tempted for a swim there. Looking back towards Australia.
Australia, mate.
Australia, mate. Just over there. Just saying, the water is crystal clear. Don't know if you'll see it in the video, but just looking down at that big rock down there, you can just see way into the water. It's beautiful. Okay, we'll keep going.
Sure.
Looking down the main road of Stanley. It's a very small main road, but there's some really nice stuff. There's this little shop just behind us here called Providore 24, which is kind of at the left-hand end of the main drag. And boy, have they got some good stuff in there. Chocolates and breads and you name it. It's worth a visit. And if you're into the whiskies, then there's a place here called the Angel Store, or the Angel Share, I think it's called, which is a whiskey bar, which looks pretty good as well. We were hoping to have a glass of wine, but the wine bar is closed, unfortunately. So you might have to have an ice cream instead. Got to do what we can to support these local businesses.
I don't think there's any problem with local support.
Here's the whiskey bar, whiskey and spirits. Not into our whiskies, unfortunately. We need to practice a bit more, I think. We're in a little spot called Rocky Cape. It's not a little spot, it's quite a big spot. Which is about 20 odd kilometres, 25 kilometres back from Smithton, heading back towards Burnie. And it is just stunning here. Have a look at this. So we're down at the boat ramp at the moment, and there's a couple of indigenous shelter caves just up in the hills here, so we're going to go for a walk up there and have a look at those. But this is really pretty. Speaking of really pretty, okay, let's go and have a look at the cave. They're up here somewhere. So we did read a little bit of criticism about the platform at the cave, and I must admit they're 100% right, because that's the cave in there, but you can't see anything because the platform's too high, so all you can actually see is just a hole, which is really quite bizarre. But when you get on your hands and knees and lay on your stomach and look into the hole, it goes back a fair way. But come on, Parks and Wildlife. Come on, you can do better than that. That's just a bit silly. The North Cave track now. It's about a 20-minute walk to get down there, apparently. And It's meant to be a little bit better than the South Cave, so I'll just have to wait and see. But it's quite a pleasant walk down. The sun is shining. It's almost, well, in fact it is, it's nice and warm. It's beautiful today. Oh, there we go. Australia's first known cave. It's a big call.
Well,
Known to who?
1826.
I'm reading the sign here. 1826. First cave ever found. Also, it's quite, goes in quite a way.
I can't read that because I'm wearing glasses.
Yeah, don't know. So anyway, there it is, over there. Quite an impressive looking cave. You can apparently get down to the beach here. There's meant to be some really nice rock formations down on the beach somewhere. So we might see if we can find that track to get down onto the beach. We're on an adventure.
Oh, like adventure.
We're on the way down to Cave Bay. They're not allowed to actually into the cave, which is a shame. So we thought we'd just do a little bit of adventuring through the bush here. And this is a path. It's just obviously not a very well maintained path. Lisa loves an adventure. Any encounter with nature, she's in for it. So that's the entry to the cave, but they do ask you not to go in. So we'll respect that wish and admire it from a distance. Bit of a shame. Apparently it goes back about 300 metres into the rocks. This is just like, what's the name of that gorge? In the Northern Territory. But without the fear of crocodiles.
Stupid.
We're there. You know what they say, hun? Take the path less trodden. Or something like that. Not exactly sure what they say, but Cave Bay. How good was that? Got some rock climbers down here. Look like we're going to have a crack at getting up the rocks. That would be quite a challenge. I've carried on about rocks before, but the colours in these rocks is just incredible. Just beautiful. We're going to watch the rock climbers here for a little while before Lisa's motherly instinct will kick in and she won't be able to watch it anymore. This is such a beautiful spot. Land Flora Hill, 50 minutes, Postman's Pass. So I think we're going close to Sisters Beach, is where we're going.
We'll see how we go.
See how we go. It's a loop, 6 and a bit kilometres around. So it goes up this big hill here and then down the other side. Just saying, how beautiful does the water look down there? It's so clear. Absolutely stunning. Look at the patterns in the rocks down there. Magnificent. What a great little track. Cathedral Rocks, 10 minutes. We're almost there. Well, to the turnaround point. And there it is, just over in the distance. Cathedral Rocks.
Way before you walk.
Somebody's already had a tumble, not Lisa. Down to Cathedral Rocks. Just saying, we're almost warm enough to have a swim, but it doesn't look like there's a beach anywhere. So some grey clouds rolling in over the top of the hills there. Hopefully they're not rain bearing. Keep our fingers crossed. gorgeous day out on the water today. There's been a few boats zooming around.
Back up.
Ready's probably not the word. Well, I'm ready for it. I'm not looking forward to it. It should be okay. It's only, I think, 2.5 kilometres to the top, and then it's an easy walk down from there. No, it'll be a beautiful walk back.
Easy does it.
This is the homeward leg. We're working our way downhill now, back towards the car park. But boy, oh boy, it is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, put this away. Can't film and walk. There we go. We're at the end. 6.45 kilometres. Good
really
walk.
nice.
It was a beautiful walk. So it's what's it called? Rocky Cape, and it's the walk to Cathedral Rocks. So 6.5k. It's up the hill. Quite an easy walk. I mean, it's a bit strenuous, but it's not hard at all. And the track is quite good, except for the last 50 metres. It's a bit rocky, yeah, but other than that, it's pretty good. But a great walk. All up, a really nice walk. Certainly worth doing. So this is where we're staying, in a little town called Forest, and we're staying out of the sports ground. But this Forest General Store would have to be the most comprehensive general store I've ever seen. I'll ask if they'll let us have a film inside, see how we go. There's people in there, so I didn't want to do it. But there's everything in there. It's a hardware store, the newsagent, the post office, general store, it's a little cafe. They make all their own cakes there. It's amazing. So if you're around the area looking for somewhere to camp, and Forest is a great little spot, make sure you come to the general store. It's a great general store. So a drive from the general store, all of 30 metres, gets us to the camping ground. And this is it here. It's the sports oval. Looks like a cricket field, but I don't think they've played a lot of cricket here lately. And there's just one toilet to share between everyone, so it does get a bit busy in the morning.
Well,
no
they
showers.
do ask you to be self-contained.
There you go. So there you go. So just camped on the cricket field. What have we got in here now? Probably 10 or 15. And how much is it?
$10.
$10 per van per night, regardless of how many occupants there are. And that's us, camped just over here. Okay, that's it. Episode 1 of our Tassie adventure. In the next episode, we'll be pushing further west. So we're going to head towards Arthur River and do the trip on Arthur River. And then from there, we're going to push on down to Strawn and across to Cradle Mountain. Don't know if we'll cover all of that in episode 2, but we'll see how we go. So thanks for joining us once again. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you at the next episode. Catch you later.